Welcome back to another edition of Strengthening Oklahoma. This edition of Strengthening Oklahoma is brought to you by The Garage. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you and order online from the garage in your neighborhood. Yo, we have actual football to discuss and talk about here at Strengthening Oklahoma. The Sooners off to a 1-0 start. What a great way to kick off the Brent Venables era with what we all saw against UTEP Saturday in Norman. And first up to bat, one of our favorites, Mr. Ethan Downs. Ethan, how are we doing today, man?
Hey, I'm good. Good to see y'all.
Great to see you as always. Congratulations, 1-0. Win the opener. It's always the first goal of the season. And, I was not there. Currently, I'm in Atlanta getting ready for a big game coming up tonight with Clemson and Georgia Tech, but I was watching from afar. And, man, it looked like an awesome atmosphere. It looked like a great place to be. Just tell us, man, back at it, 45-13 victory. How'd it feel, man? How was the Palace? How did everything feel in the first game of the season, first game of the Brent Venables era?
I'd say it felt like what it's supposed to be. As far as all the legendary, the culture, tradition, it all came together in this first game, and there's so much passion behind it. And the championship back in 2000, their opener was UTEP, and all the people coming back viewing this game, it was like, hey, it's not all at random. There's something special going on, and to feel even our walk of champions walking in, we're all wearing suits, we're all looking great, we're walking in unity as a team, and it wasn't just a 30-foot walk, a couple hundred people there. It felt like it was swarmed with 2,000 people on top of us, rooting for us, wanting what's best for us, and it feels like a family. So honestly, Saturday was the most confident I've been, and it's the funnest game I've ever been a part of.
I mean, let's talk about the game, right? First game of the season, UTEP comes to town. Just looking at what they did offensively, Ethan, changed personnel groupings a lot. What was the communication like with all of that out on the field? Because you guys were seeing different personnel almost every single snap with what they were throwing at you.
Mm-hmm. So knowing the down and distance, knowing what to expect, we knew that if we stopped the run, it would open a whole lot of their passing game since they keyed primarily on the run. And at one point, it was negative 18 rushing yards, and we were stomping them. So that opened up pass rush possibilities and things like that. So we could get a whole lot of faster guys out there. When we got on the goal line, we brought in our big, heavy package and tried to stomp them in the mouth, missed the gap. They scored, but no, man, I feel like I could see so much more. Like I almost become enlightened to football and playing, and I reached another level of being able to notice these things. Like if you asked me last year something simple like what's 21 personnel, I would not be able to tell you. I was like, I don't know, but it's so simple now. No, when there's a wing set, I got a wing bust and stuff like that. So it's super. It brings a whole lot of confidence to the table, a whole lot of knowledge. So it's super exciting to get out there, and it is like a game. It's the next challenge, the next play, what to see, what to look at, how to react. Got to do it right or I do it wrong, and there's always a right or wrong. So it's just playing and balling out.
So I think it's safe to say your football IQ has grown significantly, and it's awesome to hear you talk about that here already in the first game. Pass rush, 6 sacks, 5 different guys get at least half a sack. Reggie's already up a sack and a half on you, by the way, so you better pick it up. You got 1, Reggie got 2.5, but everybody was in on the mix. But you guys, like you kind of said, were so good against the run. As you've gone back and now you got a chance to look at it, what would you say the best thing that you guys did collectively as a defense? Was it getting after the Q? Was it stopping the run? Was it maybe something I haven't mentioned? What as you look back at it, what were you most proud or thought, man, we really did that well?
I feel like our mentality was really well, our teamwork, cohesiveness, not like a mentality of rage and just going to like stomp them out, but it was like a mentality to not give them anything. We know we're good enough to stop them. And it doesn't matter who the competition is, like a faceless competition, we play to a standard and we practice harder than the game. And I didn't believe when the coaches first said that the practice was going to be harder, but I tell you, a Tuesday and a Wednesday practice and full pads out there for 2 hours, and we get 120 plays of against scouts or team versus team, and we get out in the game and we played something like 82 defensive snaps and 7 out guys. We were fresh, we were fast, but being able to go back and watch the game, critique ourselves, it felt like another big practice. And it's just like I said, another challenge, another focus, another game. The prep. I'm starting to love like preparing for this, and it's hard. I'm smiling. I'm getting like chill bumps. It's hard to believe that everything Coach Venables is talking about is like coming to life. It's becoming my reality. He always talks about um, a cheetah enjoys the chase, and um, a cheetah will not kill a prey if it's not running away from it. It's just too easy, and it's built. It's literally built. Its anatomy is built to for the chase, for the challenge. And once it catches it, then its reward is feasting, and then its family can eat. But there is no reward unless there's a challenge. So it loves the chase. Even if there's no victory in the end, it loves the chase. And I'm starting to tap into that and not trying to be cocky, but that's like a revelation for me because I've never been one to be overly confident. And now I'm starting to get that edge, that little chip on my shoulder.
That's some
Philosopher's back,
national
Gabe.
that's some
The
National
philosopher's
Geographic stuff. Now, the way that you guys played the run, right, held them to 0.9 yards per rush, right? They had 28 yards on 31 rush attempts. That's got to feel really good, especially for that D-line group. What was the key to that? I mean, I think their longest rush was like 8 yards. Ethan, what was the key to playing the run as well as you guys did against UTEP?
I say our discipline and doing our job. There's always been this there's always been the stigma that OU's very talented and very undisciplined over the past couple of years. And we were tired of that stigma. And it's like, well, we can change it. We have today. We can change it. So getting out there in the game, it's no, we're going to be where we need to be. We're going to hit our gaps, our responsibilities. We're going to be strong, powerful. We're going to stop the run, have good feet, good technique. And when we slip up, the extra effort from somebody else or ourselves is gonna make up for our misses. So it's not about winning or losing every play or making a play every play. It's just about giving your best. And we did that every play.
It's awesome. I love to hear that. I want to talk about, and we're going to try to do this each time we're with you and the other players. I want to talk about a play in particular. You had a sack, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So walk us through kind of exactly what's going on. Looked like you went speed, or you looked like you went power, kind of came off, and there was a double. You split the double, and it was really an effort sack as much as anything else. But walk us through your alignment for fans that don't know. You don't have to give us a call, but for fans that don't know a whole lot about football and they're trying to learn, talk us through your alignment, the situation, what you're thinking when you're in your stance, and the block you got, how you were able to defeat that, and how you were able to get to that sack.
Yeah. I believe it was a second down. I don't remember the down and distance, but being able to tell, you know, based on the yardage, what to expect, like a trick play or a screen or something like that. I could tell by the body language of the tackle, it's kind of sitting back a little bit, chest a little higher. Their splits a little wider, and I could tell by how the tackle was setting the whole game. He's setting back more vertically and almost outward, trying to widen me out just to kick me out, keep my momentum away from the quarterback. So expecting all this, I loosened up in my alignment, tilted a little bit, trying to get an angle on that quarterback, and not being so timid about stopping the run, but saying, okay, this is definitely a passing set, go get after it. So I had my job, I knew my responsibility, got my alignment, my assignment, tackles my key. I'm ready to get off and fire off. They were shooting their hands high all game. I had hands in my face mask, up in my jerseys, and I'm not too good at bending right now as far as like a ghost rush and keeping that balance. And I'm definitely working on it, but I was trying to high swipe all game and get edges. But with here, since he was so top heavy, powered him, controlled that top hand almost like a forklift. You really watch it back, we're like holding hands, and I get a sack from it. It's crazy. But yeah, whipped him arm over, counter QB rush level, just like Coach Chavis tells us to, and he was right there, made the sack. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even call high school sacks a sack, because in 4A football, your sack came from like the quarterback running away from you and you just chasing him down. So that felt like my first sack ever, and the fact that I used some technique to get it makes me feel like I'm growing. So some more, some more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just some more initiative to prove, like, hey, Ethan, you are growing as a player, as an athlete, as a team, teammate. So I'm just, I can't take too much credit. I'm thankful because of Coach Chavis coming in and all the men coming in from Coach Venables, and the culture they're bringing, and it's making me a better player, better person all around. But coming back to the play, after the tackle, after the sack, I remember getting up, pointing at Coach Chavis. I was like, wow, I really just did that. Looked at Jalen Redmond and Reggie, and they're all just kind of clapping, pointing at me. And I didn't know what to do. No celebration. I was just kind of like, all right. That wasn't too bad. Maybe I can get some more this year. Yeah.
We got to get a celebration, man, because it really was like you get up and you're like, what do I do? Like, do I just, were you tired? Or did you have to have a celebration planned, Ethan? Come on, man. What are we doing?
I don't really have a celebration. I've never been one to like, have some do. I've never been one to like do a cartwheel. Never. I always just, all right, next play. I did that. Whatever. Let's keep going. I don't know.
So whenever I make a big play, now I was like insane and crazy, and I had just so much energy. I would always do like a, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you could pull one of those out, or you're engaged, you've got a beautiful fiance, y'all are going to get married at some point soon. I mean, maybe it's like something like that, and then maybe you just like point to your finger or something, just to let her know, even though you're in the midst of that football game, you're thinking about her. Make it something special. I don't know. Maybe we just create something right here. What do you think, Gabe? Throw some ideas out there for our guy.
I think just like just a thumbs up, like, yeah, that was good. Good for me. Like, that was good. Just a simple thumbs up. That would be hilarious. That would be a hilarious sack celebration if you just saw a guy get up and like, all right, yeah, nice.
Okay, I got you. Big sack, flip him over, ball out, scoop and score, gets the end zone, and then look at the crowd and just
all right. There we go. Good stuff, guys. We'll see if he ends up doing that against Kent State.
I love it. I absolutely love it. But what I love about everything you said was you're taking the coaching, you're taking the practice, and you're applying it in the game, whether that's film study, whether that's technique, and you're seeing the actual results on the field. And that's when you get real buy-in. And I just think that's awesome, man. Just like talking to you right now, I can tell, you're excited. You guys won the football game, but you can feel yourself as a player growing. I think it's one thing for coaches to talk, but then when you actually go out there on the field and you see those results, you're like, dang, this is real. Like, that's got to be a rewarding feeling, not only rewarding, but an exciting feeling, because I'm sure you recognize you're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's a whole nother level to achieve, and I'm just now understanding like level one basics. You know, like when I don't know, it's a silly analogy. You ever seen Kung Fu Panda, the cartoon show?
Absolutely. I
Absolutely.
had kids, man. Yeah, come on.
Okay. Um, Kung legendary warrior destined for greatness, and he doesn't know why, doesn't know how to use it, doesn't know how to obtain it, but he gets out there and he's asking Master Shifu, the master of the Furious Five, uh, all the talented legendary warriors, and Po, the Kung Fu Panda, is asking Master Shifu, "Where do I start? Can I start at level 0?" And he gets made fun of, and um, he doesn't know where to go, and he's confused, and he's trying to figure this whole thing out. Yet there's this long destiny that he must fulfill in order to protect the valley and his family and everything he loves. And it's at the very end when he understands. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, spoiler. It's at the very end of this cartoon movie that he understands there's no secret. It's just believing in yourself, and it's just taking the knowledge and using it, and having that love and that desperation to be great for others, and uh, to buy in and to just enjoy it. And he got to live his dream and be that legendary warrior, and he fulfilled his destiny. Like as silly as that analogy sounds, comparing myself to Poe from Kung Fu Panda, um, and not me specifically, like picked amongst everybody else, because I feel like we're all on that same journey. But how much empowered he was in that movie is where I feel like I'm starting to get to, and it's really, like you said, it's warming, it's exciting, and it's something worth waking up the next day for. And it's like, wow, how can I be better? You know.
All right. We got the celebration. He's got to do like a little Kung Fu Panda, like
100%.
"Wah!" That's it, dude. That's it. You're the
Kung
if you're gonna
Fu,
be
bro.
Poe, the Kung Fu Panda, a little Kung Fu action to
I
celebrate the
know.
sack. Come on, what do you think? What do you think?
Love it. I love it. I love it.
No,
That's good.
I feel like he's not loving it. Dang it! I
No,
thought we had
Ethan
it.
Poe Downs. Ethan Poe
I
Downs.
don't know any kung fu.
Well, yeah, Keanu Reeves does. Yeah, have you seen? You don't. You probably haven't seen The Matrix. You're young, but it is.
Yo,
I
man, what do you mean?
have you seen The Matrix?
Yes, all four of them.
Oh, okay. Well, really, the first one's the only
Whoa.
one you got to watch. But
Yeah.
so where he's like, I know kung fu. That's where we got to get you like a kung fu celebration. Now, I do want to ask you about Reggie's performance, because he's one of our other Strength in Oklahoma guys, and sounded, just from talking to him after the game about it, the situation with his grandma who has cancer, being able to be there in attendance. What was that like, and how did you guys kind of show your support to Reggie, when you're talking about that defensive ends room?
So Reggie, I know this is looking into the private area of the team and all that, but before the game, Reggie spoke out to the whole team and said, "Hey, this is basically what I'm playing for today." He said, "My grandma, it's might be the last game she ever gets to watch, and she practically raised me, and you know, um, she's coming here, and instead of getting treatment and therapy, she's coming here to watch me play." So he said, I'm going to give it all I got. And as much character that takes to push through that adversity, and not have your mind on the emotional roller coaster of thinking about a loved one passing away and a cherished loved one by that. So Reggie's a very mature guy in our room, a leader in our room, and we were looking out for each other. When you get in the game, and when you get in the game mode, it's all about the game. But right before and right after, I knew where Reggie's heart was. So we're always able to love on each other, hug each other during the game, support each other, laugh with each other, bleed with each other. We're all brothers.
That's awesome. That's special. Special. You guys are close, tight knit family, and I love it. He played his tail off, man. He was fun to watch. Big sack there before halftime, keeping points off the board. I got to be honest, though, man. I didn't like the roughing the passer. Now, I'm biased. admittedly so. D lineman 1. I'm an Oklahoma guy 2, and that's one of my strengths in Oklahoma guys 3. So I get it. I'm biased, but and you don't even have to comment. I don't need you to comment on refereeing, but Gabe will. Gabe, was that rough in the passer? Because I didn't feel like it was. Now you were there live. I was watching it at home. That was highly questionable at most, in my opinion.
He gave him a nudge. It was a friendly nudge. It was a greeting. It was early in the game. He was just trying to say hello to Gavin Hardison, UTEP's quarterback. That was it.
It wasn't the timing. It was how he hit him. That's all it was. So even if even when the quarterback got rid of the ball and he hit him, touched him, the timing wasn't the penalty. It's the fact that Reggie led with his head, bumped him down. Just that he hit him with his helmet by the slightest bit is he could have got called for targeting, something scary like that.
Don't even get me started. We'll derail this whole show here if I have to go down that path. So I don't even want to go there at all. One thing we haven't touched on is the offense. And they go out, boom. I mean, they were going out to take throats from Jump Street. Big plays. Dylan was efficient. Running game was rolling. First 3 drives. I mean, it's 21-0, and we're not even 8 minutes in the game yet. Defensively, when the offense is clicking like that, how good does that feel for you guys over on the side? You're getting your job done, but so is the offense on the other side of the ball.
Well, we play against them every day. That's our competition every day. So we're used to their tempo. We're used to the speed. We're used to them taking shots. So honestly, yesterday's game, as slow as UTEP went, it was like we were never out of breath. And it was like, all right, what's next? We got the call. Okay, are you all set yet? Oh, you're good? Okay, now we're going to go. Oh, you got to check? Oh, all right, we'll wait a second. Okay, now. Oh, you good now? Let's go. Man, took forever. But no, it's really it's really cool to say we got an elite offense and an elite defense right now. And I know it's only game 1, but from seeing what practices look like, this is just scratching the surface. Like I said, we beat level 0, on to level 1, level 2, climbing the mountain. Next opponent, UTEP's in the past. Let's learn from it, grow from it, get better.
So one more thing from the UTEP game, and then you can let us in on, the little bit I'm sure you've watched of Kent State up to this point. There's a really cool moment in the locker room where Venables gets the game ball from Joe Castiglione and Joe Harris. What was it like seeing Coach V be that emotional in that moment?
It was good. It was good because it proves that he's not. I don't know exactly what to say. I don't know why it's making me emotional right now too. He cares so much. He's already got enough money. He's already got enough reputation, enough talent. As a coach, enough knowledge. Could have gone anywhere. Took on the role as a head coach and the challenge of it, and he's trying to do everything right. I'm not saying he's doing every specific thing right. He's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But he's changing people's lives. And he's calling people to be accountable. And he's setting a standard. And he's trying to recreate the culture. And he's rebranding what it means to be a Oklahoma football athlete, student athlete. And he's winning. Yes. He's doing it all right, and none of it's easy. And to get a taste of victory, it's got to be emotional for anybody because he's sacrificing so much. Not just talking about what all coaches sacrifice, time with their family and their kids and their home, and he's sacrificing all natural desires to give up or to take the easy route or to be soft. He's being the example that all young men needed growing up. to become better men themselves. And none of that's easy. So I think he got emotional because somebody pointed out and rewarded his hard work and his dedication. Yeah.
So it's a true story. So well said by you, by the way. I did not see that video until this morning. I woke up in my hotel room and I was thumbing through some messages and Twitter, and I watched that video about 5 times, and I almost started crying laying in my bed. I mean, I was just so happy for him and you guys and everything you said. Like, I know it's not the win. I don't want to say it's inconsequential, but there's so much more to it than that win. And that man has waited and waited and waited until he could have his own football team. And he finally got a chance to lead his football team on the field, and you guys paid it off. And I just think about, as you said, the lives he's changed my life. He did a long time ago. He's doing it for you guys now. I just think it's awesome, man. I just think it's so well said by you. And I was just so happy, joy in my heart at about 8 o'clock this morning when I was watching that video. And I can only imagine for you guys in that locker room. I think Braden yelled out, "I'd run through a wall for you, coach." And I was like, man, I mean, you want to talk about goosebump moment before you've even brushed your teeth in the morning. That was awesome. And that is what this whole thing should be about. So I'm happy for all you guys. You're getting a chance to experience that. All right, Kent State. Have you had a chance to watch them yet? If you haven't, it's fine. But I know you probably reviewed the film, but have you even got a chance to get on to Kent State yet? Or is that still coming probably tomorrow?
No, coming tomorrow. We, watched some UTEP tape with the defense and D line, and got our notes from it. We got to work on. Threw that bag behind us. Enjoyed the rest of our Sunday, catching up on homework, doing chores around the house.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
to see my
You still have to
day.
go to school.
Yeah,
That's right.
going on.
That stinks. Could you imagine going to class right now, Dusty? Oh, my gosh.
No. Student athletes, Gabe. They're student
Yeah.
athletes. All right. Well, I'll just tell you, they run it. Third in the country in rushing last season. You're going to get a heavy dose of the run. So the fact that you guys laid a good foundation in week number 1, I think it's a great place to build and grow off of, and just know they're going to try to run the football. So I can't wait to see you guys hold up and put a impenetrable force in front of them this coming week. All right, let's get to some fan questions before we let you get out of here. Fan questions brought to you by Love's Travel Stops. Visit loves.com for more information on the nation's leading travel stop network that's headquartered right here in Oklahoma. All right, first up, Jonna May Myrick. She's one of our, I mean, you want to talk about somebody who loves Strength in Oklahoma. We appreciate you, Jonna May. Keep it coming on social media. What was it like to finally get to put BD's defense to work in the real world?
Real world out there on the stage with 100,000 people. It was fun. I say that. It was a lot of fun. We've been working hard all summer, fall, even looking back in the winter, spring. It's been tough. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of hard work in the dark, and now it's finally coming to light on the big stage. And the game was not hard compared to practice. Now there's definitely challenge and adversity, but the game so far was not hard. It wasn't the hard part. It was the fun part, and getting to go out there with the brothers and ball out. It was a lot of fun.
That's exactly how it's supposed to be, man. So that's exciting for me to hear. And this next question comes from Kurt C. He said, and I was down there on the sideline, so Kurt must have been at the game watching you guys celebrate on the sideline, because he asks, is Coach Chavis too big to be hitting you all the way he does when he gets excited after you guys make big plays? That's so Kurt had to be sitting somewhere close to that D-line bench, Ethan.
Had to be, man. No, I love Coach Chavis. His energy, it's so contagious. It's refreshing Love that man. He's a mentor to me. He's a great friend, and he's so happy to call him my coach. Yeah, after a big play, he gets in everybody's ear. He's encouraging them, hitting them on the chest, building up their confidence. He's also hard on us when we mess up, though. As soon as we mess up, he's pointing out the details. I remember being on the sideline, and he was telling one of our guys, you have to bring your hands with someone blocking you. You can't just shoulder bump it and hit take the brunt of it and not be able to react to make a play. You have to use your hands. And I remember being on the sideline. I just come out, my helmet's off, and he's like, Ethan, stand right here. So I'm standing there, and he hits me, and shocks me, and he like throws me into the bench. And I was like, dang, coach. Oh my gosh. I get back up. He's like, Ethan, you good? You all right? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Well, sure, go again. And his energy's awesome. He jokes with us. He's like, man, you'll have no idea. He's like, I could go out right now. I'll be the best D in the Big 12. 30 something years old and all. I'll do it. Yeah, don't try me now. I love that, man.
I love that. I'll just say he would rip a hamstring off the bone if he tried to go out there. Trust me. He's still young and he's in good shape, but man, Father Time's undefeated. So he could not do that. Tell him, thanks, coach, but you can't go out there and be the best DN. We got the two best defensive ends are right here at the University of Oklahoma and right here a part of Strengthening Oklahoma. All right, last one for you. RW, what do you do after a game?
What do I do after the game? Well, step by step after the game, go in the locker room, listen to Coach Venables, all the coaches, break down the day, what to focus on, and talking about hanging out with each other as far as teammates after the game, make sure nothing dumb happens, and go get showered up, grab all the bags, and, we got new suits, grabbing our suits, taking them back to the car, seeing family. As soon as you walk outside, there's a lot of kids, a lot of adults as well, trying to get pictures and autographs, and shows you the atmosphere and your impact as a player. So once you've signed all the autographs and kissed all the babies and hugged all the moms and the dads, you finally see your family, and maybe you go eat, go have dinner, go eat some pizza, or it's just a quick hangout and people got to catch flights and get out of there. Luckily, my family lives close, so we get to hang out a little longer, and I get to see my fiance, get to kiss her, see my buddies back home that I'm still super tight with, and yeah, after that, I don't really party. I just go crash, fall asleep. I'm exhausted.
That's that's good. It's good for recovery.
That's right. No doubt, man. I love it. Happy for you guys. Great start to the season. Great first game. Tell those guys in that D-line room, big fist bump from us over here. I thought you guys played really well. But it's, as you know, it's only the start. It's only the start, and you got to continue to build and grow each and every week, which I know you guys will be dedicated and focused to do exactly that. I hate that we don't get a chance to do this again with you until October, but it'll be here before we know it. So continued success, stay healthy, and we can't wait till we talk to you again the next time right here on Strengthening Oklahoma. Thanks, Ethan. We appreciate you joining us, man.
Absolutely. See y'all.
All right, man. Hey, remember, a little kung fu when you get that next sack.
Wow.
Ready for that, Poe? Let's go. We'll be watching. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Dude, that's the one.
That's it.
Yes, the little,
That's it.
like, hey,
That's it.
bring it. That's perfect. We'll talk to the officials before the game. We'll make sure it doesn't get flagged. Just a warning, like, hey, man, this is his thing. Like, don't ruin a good thing, Mr. Referee. Okay. That's an awesome celebration. Yeah, come on.
I love that.
Come on.
I love it. Gabe's got you covered. He's going to do all the talking for you to the referees for the game. He is as savvy and as smooth as anyone I know. So don't worry. Flags will not be coming. Ethan, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. There you go. Ethan Downs with a phenomenal interview and a breakdown there of the UTEP football game. And now it's time for my man Gabe and I to break it down.
All right, let's break it down. And the breakdown brought to you by the Oklahoma Proton Center. It's one of the top cancer centers in the region using state-of-the-art proton therapy. Oklahoma Proton Center, more than a cure, quality of life. Defensive performance, Gabe. I mean, we heard right there from our man Ethan. I mean, I think they got to feel pretty good about where they are. You know, the passing yards, they gave up a little bit, a lot of zone coverage. I thought they did a nice job of keeping things in front of them and not giving up big plays, which was such a problem that plagued this team a season ago. Thought the tackling was pretty darn good. Danny Stutzman lowered the boom one time that I know had the whole stadium rocking. And the thing that I really enjoyed and liked seeing was just the overall, you know, productivity and negative plays. 9 tackles for loss, 6 sacks. I think whether I mentioned this to you on here or not, I've said it several times. You know, since 2012, when Coach Venables, since he left, went to Clemson, they've led college football at Clemson, #1 in the country in tackles for loss, in sacks, and in third down defense. And I thought that we saw signs of that already in game #1, playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, creating those negative plays, and really harassing and getting after the quarterback. The competition is going to get better. I don't want to make UTEP out to be some juggernaut. I want to keep it real. But first game out of the chute, I thought we saw a lot of good things from the defensive side of the football. I saw a lot of good things from both sides, but defensively speaking, as we are here in this one, I was really happy about the negative plays. The rush defense was outstanding. The tackling was much improved. And I don't know how you won't walk away from that with a good feeling about where this defense is headed.
Yeah, the longest run they gave up was 8 yards. I mean, that's about as good as it can get, right? You give up 0.9 a rush, you're really not going to have many complaints. I think the best way to put it is it's a performance to build on, right? Yeah. It's for that defense, it's a performance to build on. Like, they've laid the foundation, and you've worked all off season on these coverages and these concepts, and you're like, okay, this coach is insane. Like, is this going to work when we go out there on game day? And then all of a sudden you only give up 13 points. They don't even rush for a yard per rush. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. This guy is the best at what he does. And really a very conservative game plan defensively, right? You mentioned a lot of deep zone coverage, and Ted Roof talked about it after the game. They knew that the only way UTEP could give them trouble if they just threw it over their head. So the game plan was, hey, don't let them throw it over your head. And I thought that they did a good job of executing their assignments. There were some gaps, right, in that underneath zone coverage.
Yes.
That's going to get better with time. You know, just from conversations I've had with you, conversations I've had with Teddy Lehman about that second level of that zone coverage. Like, that's the last thing for those linebackers to really understand all the pattern matching and all of the intricacies that Brent Venables wants from those guys. That'll come with more experience. But altogether, man, just a really solid performance against a team that's got quite a few veteran players. And let's be real, the Gavin Hardison kid, the quarterback for UTEP,
he throw it.
He could play a lot of places. He could start a lot of places in the Power 5. Like, he was actually pretty fun to watch. I thought altogether a very satisfactory initial performance from this defense.
I think we want to see them. They need to get better. Like, I mean, I don't think there's anyone that would say that. But yeah, first game out, not knowing what to expect, a lot of newness thrown at them. I thought they played well. 6 sacks rushing the passer. A couple of those sacks, a quarterback held on to it, Rush able to get there late. I believe they can continue to get better and winning with that initial move and really collapsing the pocket even better. So, you know, again, 6 sacks, a great start. And I was so happy for Reggie. I thought Reggie fought all day. He kept coming. I thought he really stood out to me on that step. I thought Isaiah Coe really stepped up against the run in particular. Thought he played well in the middle. I mean, overall, I thought a lot of guys did, but I would say up front, those two guys really stood out to me as guys I thought, man, played well. There was one where Jordan Kelly, they had a slant on. Thought he excellent first step, gaining ground, getting up the field, brought his rip up, and made that nice play in the backfield. So there's a lot of things to build upon. I don't think, you should never be satisfied, right? You should never be satisfied as a player. You should always look at the tape and think, I can do something better. And I would have to imagine as they look at this tape, they do a true self-scout, self-evaluation, there's plenty of areas that they can improve on. But, man, all this newness, all this change, first time out of the blocks, I thought the offense came out just on fire. We could talk about them more on Wednesday. They were, on fire. I love what I saw from the run game. But, you and I are linemen. And as much as it's about quarterback play and football is played in more space and passing games with bigger emphasis on, it still comes back to the line of scrimmage. And it still comes back to the team that can line up and run the football and the team that can stop the run. And I thought as much as anything else, we've heard all since Coach Venables has been here, spring and really fall, summer, physicality, physicality, physicality. I thought this team played with some real physicality, and I thought that at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage, they dominated and gave you a glimpse of the mindset, the identity of who this team wants to be under the guidance of Brent Venables, and that excites me because it looked good. It looked really good.
Yeah, and it's only the starting point, right? Like you mentioned, the competition is going to ramp up. Now, it's not Kent State is not when the competition is going to ramp up. But as this team goes to Lincoln and plays Nebraska, and then they get in the conference play, the competition is certainly going to ramp up. And as it ramps up, I expect the level of play from this defense, especially this defensive line, to ramp up. And I think the real question you mentioned, kind of like initially winning with pass rush moves, I think that's where we could probably see the most improvement from this group. Like, can a few more guys more often win with their initial move and really be disruptive as pass rushers? That's kind of the next step. The one thing I will say, the effort was noticeably better.
Excellent.
Guys flying to the football, gang tackling, like punishing ball carriers. There was one, right? Wide receiver was being held up by one foot. He's like standing up and he just gets hit by about 4 guys. And it was one of those moments where that guy was like, I'm not going to do that again. That's a bad idea. And I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but other teams they'll play will see that on tape and they'll be like, I better get down. I better get down because this group, it wasn't perfect, but there were very few, maybe 2 missed tackles, like one-on-one missed tackles in space. And there were always guys there cleaning stuff up. I think that you're starting to see Brent Venables' imprint on this defense. And you could just see it in the first game. And I feel like it's only going to continue to grow from here, man.
100% agree. With Ethan, real quick, before we say farewell, I can't believe he couldn't tell you what 21 personnel was last year. I like to hear, but I do think it speaks to the level of emphasis this staff, defensively in particular, is placing on having a high football IQ, understanding exactly what they're getting formationally, situationally, how they fit within the structure of the defense. So you become a football player, right? That's when you're not just going out there, ball moves, I'm running, I'm going as hard as I can, just chase the football. You're actually playing the game. You're actually in the game. And to hear him say that last year as a true freshman, that was never part of it. And after week 1, I thought that was big. And I just love, how it is, man. It's like when the light bulb goes off and you start to understand, and you start to see the things you work on in practice and you carry them over on the field and you have success. I mean, you want to talk about when you get players to buy in and recognize, man, there's a method to the madness. To hear Ethan be excited that all these things transpired in week one is awesome. And it should make those players, that staff, and the fan base that much more excited about what's to come in the future, because they're scratching the surface. And it was a very good starting point and a very good place to build on as this new era of Sooner football kicks off.
Yeah, he went from not knowing what 21 was to being a stand-up defensive end and sprinting to get underneath the number one wide receiver to take away the hitch. Like, he did it. He did it twice in the game. And I just saw it, and he knew exactly what he was doing. And you can just tell, like, that's understanding defense. That's understanding offense. And so it's clear that several of these guys, their football IQ is, I mean, it's growing, and that's important. Like, having the physical gifts, that's where it starts, right? The length, the speed, the power, the strength, all of that stuff. But when you can combine those physical gifts with a really sound mental understanding of the game, man, that's when special things start to happen.
No doubt. I'm with you on that. It's a 45-13 victory. It's an excellent way to kick off the Brent Venables era. He was emotional after the game. I started to get emotional with him. And it's a very cool scene there in Norman, Oklahoma, to kick off a new era in Sooner football. So it was really good, and I'm glad they were able to have success early on. And again, that just makes everyone else buy in that much more. Coming up later in the week, we'll break down the offensive side of the football and give you a sneak peek as to what Kent State is going to present to the Sooner football team coming up this Saturday in Norman. Big thanks to Muse Growth Strategies for continuing to help us spread the word about strengthening Oklahoma. And as always, thank you to you guys, our subscribers, our supporters. We appreciate you. We thank you. Tell your friends, tell your family, and just know you're making a positive impact on strengthening Oklahoma, and more importantly, on the players within our team at Strengthening Oklahoma in their lives. Much more to come throughout the week. And again, as we always do, we'll see you again next time right here on Strengthening Oklahoma.